let's go here. The NBA will continue to talk about, moves and stuff going on. And you heard earlier Eddie House was really impressed by what the Bucks did. And, there were people, I guess, Giannis supposedly told, was it Chris Haynes? Yes, insider Chris Haynes, that he didn't like the way it was handled. But he didn't say he didn't like it. And then today basically said he was excited about the moves that the Bucks have made. Still saying that he's not a part of making these decisions or whatever. Basically, the front office is doing that stuff. You have a problem with the way Giannis has handled this, I'm assuming here?
Yeah, well, my thing is this, because then there, you can kind of, how this goes, Rob. There's report to the report, and then a response to the report of the report by this person in the response. So then you got the latest. Ramona Shelburne, she had put out there that that he was not pleased, and that he was not pleased with Milwaukee's decision to waive Lillard, and then he just didn't like how it was handled, as you mentioned. And then you have Nacho Libre response from Damian Lillard under Ramona's tweet out there. He responded with it, kind of using that character in the movie, his nod of resignation, like, yeah, sure, all right. So as if Damian is saying, no, he knew what was up. He knew the whole time. And it kind of goes to conversation you and I were having yesterday. The Bucks are doing this. Giannis means too much. He's too big. He's being a part-time GM de facto, and that they're talking to him. If they're trying to keep him, they're going to do whatever it takes to make him happy, right? This is what we're doing. This is what we're thinking. This is what we're considering. These are the options we have. What do you think? What do you agree with? We're thinking about getting Miles Turner, which he said he liked that move there. He was excited about that. And if they're going to move Damian, he has to be on the know, especially if they're going to eat a bunch of $100+ $112 million, whatever it is. So my thing is this. I don't like that end of it, to act as if you didn't know, to act, I didn't like I was handled, if you indeed were, know about this. And I know over the last 5-6 years or so, with LeBron kind of getting to that point in his career where it's only championships that matter, every year, every team, we all go, well, we know there are a bunch of guys that could be expendable. We know LeBron is, at this point, willing to do anything for a championship. And I guess for me, and it can be LeBron, it can be somebody in the NFL, a quarterback who's on that same trajectory, I'd rather know at the end of the season, like, yo, unless I'm, Luka, I could go somewhere. I could be traded. I could be released. I could be cut. I'd rather know it and know what I'm facing than to think we're trying to come back, battle this thing out, and I'll get healthy if I'm Damian Lillard, and we'll come back and make this thing happen. Or if we just had a conversation like, yo, man, you and I both know this ain't working. I'd rather move on. You'd be rather move on. The team is willing to, try to move this thing on so you can go do what you want to do.
You're saying LeBron handles stuff
that
way?
No, I'm saying I would rather Giannis had done that. I'm saying come to him and then act as if he didn't know, I don't like how it was handled. I feel as though if you're Dame, who has tended to be a straight-up kind of guy, I think he feels as if that was sneaky by Giannis, and now acting like you didn't know. Because you can't tell me he's all in. They're going to communicate with Giannis. He's the organization. He's a team, which means he knows. And then, I ain't like how they handled it. Oh, that's kind of crazy. Oh, what? I'd rather you straight up come to me like, yo, man, do you feel me? Like, this isn't working. You would agree, I think, and let's just part ways. Or to be straight up like, I'm not happy where the team is. Y'all have to make moves. Then to act like you're just so dumbfounded by this, because to me, that comes off a little sneaky. I'd rather every time we know everybody's expendable, we're trying to do whatever it takes to win. What we got right now ain't enough, and anybody can get it. If you're Brandon Ingram, if you're Kyle Kuzma, if you're Julius Randle on the Lakers, you're expendable. I'd rather at least know that than to think it's all good while I'm rehabbing, and this happened, Rob.
All right, well, Kelvin, we've tried this show for the last 10 months. I got to tell you, I don't think it's working out. And I'm just going to tell you straightforward to your face on the show. Is that good? Is that how you want it?
Now you could have called me. You could have called me. You could have called me.
Okay, I'm just saying. I'm asking you, is that how you want it?
You responded to my text because right now all I hear is wah 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 wah.
I know you don't hear me. Right.
That's all I hear from you.
I wanted to hear what you were going to say on that one. Yeah, all right. You want to hear it like that?
Yeah, call your boy.
That's not how it works. And you know this. If you're Dame Lillard, right? Come on, man. Giannis is their franchise player. the same way LeBron can act like he didn't know AD or, I was in the dark, or I don't know what the moves the Lakers are making or whatever. I don't buy into all that. Or when they trade away half the team for him as if he didn't have anything to do with it. My point is, you have a front office, you have an owner, you have all this stuff. That's for them to do. You don't have to feel like you have to sign off on everything and put – that's not the onus is on me. Did they come and ask me or tell me that they're looking to do something? They didn't ask me for approval. They're just giving me a heads up because they have respect in knowing that I'm their top player. Now, if you're telling me he's the one calling and making the trades and all that, now I got something different. But for them to say, we want to do this because Damian's not going to play next year, we know that. We're trying to win. The East is going to be wide open. We want to make something happen. This is some of the stuff we're looking at. What do you think about him? What do you think about that? And I don't think he went out of his way to be phony like, oh, my God, I can't believe this happened. He just said, basically, I didn't like the way it happened rather than I don't like it or they blindsided
what does
me.
That
now, that's
mean,
phony.
Though, Rob? I don't like how it was handled.
But I'm talking about saying
what are they gonna do? Give him
I
a
was
parade?
blindsided. Like, I don't know anything about this. I'm like he didn't at least go that far where you say, now you're straight up lying if you told me that the Milwaukee Bucks are making moves and they haven't clued in Giannis at all. That I would take as BS if he really tried to run that out there. I wouldn't have said what he said. I'm with you that you'd be better off not saying.
Just
but I'm
not
sure
saying
people,
nothing. Yo, Dame was my man. We gave it our best.
From him, but he did say something today, which is he's excited about the moves. So that is a positive thing, and he wants to move forward. So you kind of, as the face of the team, you gotta kind of have to say something because people want to know, well, what does Giannis think about this? You know, if you don't say anything, then that's kind of weird that a major player was waived with $113 million on his contract and you have no comment whatsoever. I think that's weird.
Giannis doesn't really miss at the podium, right? Remember Tyrese Halliburton's dad, the whole issue, and then Giannis went up there and just basically essentially said he was excited. It was his son making a magical moment. I appreciate that. We talked, we dapped it up, we move on. Giannis usually shoots about 9. He's better at that than he is at the free throw line. But this is what I mean. I get your point. That's when you say, yo, me and Dan gave it a good run, wishing the best, boom, boom. Plain and done. But to add, I don't like how they handled it. That almost sounds as if you're saying, I want you to still be here. I don't like the way they had. Like,
nah, he
what
didn't
did they
say
do?
that, though.
They gave him a bunch of money. They allowed him to go anywhere he wants. He being Dame, he can now get a minimum deal so a team can get other players. Like, he's in a great situation. So I don't like how they handled it. What does that mean? And the only other option is like, do you don't like that they released him? Because they handled it pretty well in Dame's favor in that regard. So I just think this is only going to get messier as far as what comes out. Not obviously they're moving on and Dame will rehab and eventually land wherever he lands and the Bucks will try to compete. Even they just signed Bobby Portis twice by signing Bobby Portis and then signing Miles Turner. But I just think it's going to get messier for Dame. By the way, boy, I tell you, we're in a unique age where we got usually some very grown men and well-respected men. And it's just different era. You got to like read through code and emojis nowadays, Rob. Like
no,
we got.
But I don't remember
players.
I don't remember players commenting when other players get released. I don't.
Remember that happened in NFL. We were talking. Remember when Michael Parsons was talking about LaMarcus Taylor and Lawrence Taylor. I'm not trying to say. Yeah, and it was talking about, oh man, that man's money and this that and good riddance. Glad he's left. It's been some strange conversations. DeMarcus Lawrence, what I'm trying to say, over with players over the last, just to kind of this era now, like jumping out to have to say something.
I just think there's a GM and an owner and all that, man. Leave that to them. That's what they get paid for. If someone asks you about Dame or asks you, hey, are you surprised that they moved on from him or whatever, you could have a response. You know what? I thought this was going to be a great match, and it just I don't know if we just didn't get to where we thought we would be, but this is a little surprising to me that he's not going to be on the team or whatever, from the standpoint, like something like that. So I understand that, but I think you're better off not. It's too messy. You don't want to be in there where people believe like you're running everything. You're moving all the parts. You're the de facto GM. Because that's where LeBron fell in when they got rid of all the young players. And every year, yeah, it's just a bad. And then
coach out the blue, it'll be a coach that you're like, wait, why did they fire him?
Exactly.
Yeah, and Giannis has avoided that stuff for the most part. And I think this is why I'm saying it might get ugly for just he might start because let's say this run, they start off 10 and 15. It's not looking good, and then he starts complaining. I just think this might be the first run of a pretty flawless as far as PR with Giannis throughout the years. This next little season for him, and by season I mean era, might be where a couple mishaps, things he didn't say, weird issues with teammates, because he overall hadn't had too much of that. Now, that Adrian Griffin thing was another thing, too. Because like y'all let him go to bring in Doc, and who I didn't see that, what the sense of that was either. But I just think this last couple of years with Giannis will be interesting because he has pretty much an infallible run as far as the PR side of things, and it might change.
Yeah, it is definitely one of those things you don't want to get too worked up and have too many people thinking you're running everything.